Hey everyone, I love ants so much. So here I am, Mitchell Scott, to tell you a story about ants. This one is called The Young Curious Ant. There was a young curious ant, and they lived in a colony with thousands of other ants. And every day they would get up and they would go about their business. No one had to tell them what they do or what jobs needed to be done. Intrinsically, all the way through their exoskeleton, this young ant knew what needed to be done. And on this day, like most other days, the task was to go to one of the entrances to the nest and grab some of the food that was being delivered by the big adventurous soldier ants. They were out in the big, beautiful, wide world, and take that food down into the lower reaches of the nest where it would feed it to other little baby ants or stockpile it for future use. And this one day, the ant was feeling a little odd. It was feeling a little regular and wanted to find out more about what was going on, especially outside in this big, beautiful world. Every time they went up there, they could see these incredible animals. Some would fly, some were scurrying up trees. Others still were giant, massive, furry creatures. So on this day, the young curious ant decided it would go on an adventure. And when no one was looking, it scurried off into the forest. Holy cow, it thought, this is real. Where am I going to go? Well, one of the first things it came across was this giant tree, massive tree. I'm going to climb that, see what I can see from the top of the tree. So off they went, climbed this tree, and they almost got to the very top, and they came upon a branch, and it had this animal on top of it that was magnificent. It was black as night and shimmering with the faint rays of the sun. And the ant said, "Holy cow, you are beautiful. What are you?" And the animal looked back at the ant and said, "Ah, hello, young ant. I am what they call a raven." And it was like, "You are magnificent. Obviously, it looks like you can fly. I've seen your type flying overhead before. That must be quite the trip. I can't imagine being able to fly. That'll be amazing. And you're just so exquisite and beautiful and intelligent looking. I got to tell you, I don't even know you, but right off the bat, I wish I was a raven." And the raven was kind of stunned and said to the ant, "That's very nice of you to say, but I'll tell you right now, I am lost. I was in a storm and I got blown off course, and here I am on this branch waiting for the clouds to lift so I could perhaps find my home. And I got to tell you, I don't know if I'll ever find it again. I've never been here before. I'm way off course. I have a family back there. I'm actually worried I'm never going to make it home." And the ant obviously was saddened by this and said, "Well, I'm sure you'll make it back. I'm very sorry for you. I wish you the best of luck. I still wish I was you, though. Being able to fly would be so cool." And then Raven said, "Oh, young ant, I think you should be careful what you wish for, because I know that you, everyone in the forest kingdom knows this, are never lost. Ants can navigate by landscapes. You can even follow the sun and the stars. You leave chemical trails when you leave your nest that guide you back home. And right now, I have to tell you, knowing that about you, I wish I was an ant." And with that, the raven took off, and the ant was flabbergasted. How could this be possible? A raven wishes it was me? That, I'm not going to go for that. I got to keep on moving. Let's see who we can meet next. And from way up on top of the tree, it looked down and could see this really cool mossy ridge with another cool view. So it decided it was going to go there. Down it went, over, and got on this ridge. And lo and behold, when it got to the ridge, it came across this spectacular creature with these huge horns and really beautiful tan fur and muscles popping out everywhere. And the ant said, well, look at you. You're incredible. And I gotta say, I just met an amazing raven, but you take the cake. You're the most incredible animal I've ever seen. What are you? And the animal looked and could hardly see the ant. It was so big. Hello, young ant. Nice to meet you. I'm what they call the bull elk. And the ant was like, an elk. Wow. Geez. Well, I imagine you can just bound over mountains and there's not a single animal in the entire Forest Kingdom that would ever mess with you. And right off the bat, I don't even know you really yet. And I've never met your kind before, but I wish I was an elk right now. That would be just fantastic. My dream. And the elk was flabbergasted and was looking at the ant and said, well, I get it. I mean, I am huge and the antlers are massive and the muscles are rippling. I get it for sure. But I have to tell you, Ant, if I'm being honest, being me right now isn't so great. I just had to fight almost to the death for the right to mate with the girl elks, and I lost to this other guy who's bigger than me. We might have cheated, but whatever. And now I'm resigned to hanging out for the next year with all the other losers. And he gets to prance around with all the ladies. And we just eat grass and complain and train and fight and get ready for the next year. So looking at you, and I don't talk to ants much, but you're small, I'm big. But I hear and have learned that you actually are pound per pound stronger than any other animal in the Forest Kingdom. That's what they say, but looking at you, I'm not quite so sure. And also, I know that you have community at home. You always have your friends and family around. The ants don't infight for the right to breed. You have a queen. It's very simple structure. So the more I think about it, I kind of wish I was an ant. This would be cool. With that, he rambled off into the forest, branches flying everywhere. Again, the ant was flabbergasted. What the hell is going on? Two animals, magnificent animals, they want to be me. They must have eaten something in the grass or something's off. I don't believe it. I'm going to keep going. I'm getting thirsty on this adventure. So he heard a brook, actually more of a river, off in the distance. He said, I'm going to go there. We'll see what's there. So off he goes, feeling kind of strong, actually. And yes, he was right. The raven's right. He knows exactly where home is. Comes across the creek, and it's a raging river. And he nibbles a little drink at the side and looks up, and he sees this magnificent animal on a rock in the middle of the river. And it's looking at the river. And it's got these huge claws. This beautiful fur, brown fur. And of course, he's got to meet it. And he yells out over the river, hello, creature! You're beautiful and massive, and your claws are stunning. And I bet you there's no place you can't go, and there's nothing you can't do. I gotta say, I don't even know who you are, but I wish I was you. With that, the creature heard something, looked up, saw the ant on the shore, and spoke back to them. Hello, eh? How's it going? Thanks for the compliments, eh? I really appreciate it, young ant. But I don't know what you're talking about, really, because, well, to answer your first question, I'm a grizzly bear, and proud to be one. And yes, I am big and muscular, and my fur is fantastic. I need it though for the winter. And yes, these claws are a good tool for sure. But I will say this: I don't know if you want to be me right now. Like I'm freezing my claws off. Eh? It's cold out here, and catching these slippery little buggers or these salmon are like I got to do it. But it's really hard. Oh, there goes one right there. They're like, it's like catching, I don't know, goo, slippery goo that's really fast. And I got to eat as many as I possibly can and whatever else I can find. Because, pretty soon I got to go into my cave and sleep for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. And I'm not even really sleeping. I'm just twiddling my claws, rolling around, waiting for spring to come back, starving. So just while I'm rambling right now, I'll tell you that everybody knows you always got food, and you always got a nice warm place to stay. And I know that because sometimes when I'm desperate, I go and steal it from you. I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to do it, but you know, you guys always got a stockpile of food there, so I have to see it adds less, and I'm hungry. I take my share, but you know, you guys replenish, and you know, I will say this: like, you got a community, and you got, like, you're always looking out for each other, um, and that's what you know, that's what you get. We got food. I'm by myself. I got 2 little cubs who are gonna pop out. They're gonna steal it from me. Then I gotta kick them out aggressively because they'll just stay, and then no one's catching food for me, and this is my life. So you know, yeah, I'm cool, but kind of right now that I think about it, I wish I was an ant because you got it pretty good. The ant was mind blown. Now, grizzly bear wishing it was an ant, elk wishes it was an ant, raven wishes it was an ant. Okay, that's enough for now. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I got to keep moving. Time to get back to the nest, probably. So on the way back to the nest, the ant comes across a little veil going down into a little hollow, and it looks quite mysterious. And they say to themselves, well, one more stop before I head back to the nest. We got to see what's down there. And he scurries down there. They scurry down there. And they come across this majestic looking animal, furry, tall, sitting on a rock. And the ant walks in and says, hello. And this animal stands up on 2 feet and is huge and majestic and long arms. And the ant is just mind blown. I've never seen a creature like you. You are incredible. I've met some pretty amazing creatures so far today, and I gotta say, you take the cake. I mean, you almost look like you could fly with all that fur. And well, who are you? And the animal looks back at the ant and says, well, hello, young ant. Thank you for the compliments. I really appreciate it. Yes, I do have long arms and beautiful hair. I'm what they call a Sasquatch. And you are a young, curious ant, aren't you? What are you doing so far from your nest? And the ant was like, well, I got to tell you, you know, the colony was getting a little boring, same old, feeling like I was just kind of like one of a million and not so special. So I decided to go on an adventure. And it turns out I've met all these really cool animals. And I mean, you're not going to believe it, but they all kind of were saying nice things about me. I still don't believe it, but it was pretty cool. And, you know, I see you though now, and of all the animals I've seen so far, like, I think it'd be pretty cool to be a Sasquatch. I kind of wish I was a Sasquatch. And the Sasquatch immediately is like, whoa, 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 Ant, whoa. Careful what you wish for. Let me tell you a little bit about me, and by virtue of that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about you. I'm Sasquatch, and we are the keepers of nature's wisdom. She brought us on board a while ago as sort of a safety for these other experiments called the humans. You might have seen them. They're a little wild, they're crazy, out of control, actually. So we are sort of a parallel universe equivalent that is hiding now, part of the decree of our existence. And we keep the wisdom for future use. We might give it back to the humans one day, but it's not looking like we will. But we've got the intelligence to catalog it, keep it, and share it at one day. And because of that, I know everything about the forest kingdom and the natural world. I've only been here for a couple 100,000 years. You've been here since the very start, pretty much. You've been here for hundreds of millions of years. There is no other species of animal on the planet more successful than you, young ant. You're in every ecosystem on the planet. Soon, I'm sure you're going to be underwater, except for the poles. It's a little hard for it, but no one wants to live there. And you've adapted in beautiful ways to live sustainably with the natural environment, and not only that, to add to it, to contribute to it. So, I would say, knowing where we're going, the Sasquatch is kind of a lonely life, and I got to hide all the time, which is no fun. We only get to congregate it every once in a while on special occasions to share our wisdom. Many times I wish I was you, an ant, here forever, part of a giant community, working together in harmony with the natural world. With that, the ant was just blown away. Well, this is too much for me to take, and I really appreciate it. And I think I might be starting to see what you're talking about now. And I've got a lot to learn. And you're right, I probably should be heading back to the nest. Yes, you should. And it's great you came for the adventure, and best of luck, but never forget, you're special and your community needs you, because without each and every ant doing your part, it doesn't work. So, namaste, best of luck, Sasquatch to you. And without the ant, went back to the nest. And of course, he had the strength to get there even after a big adventure. And of course, he knew that there was food and warmth and his friends and family back at the colony to greet him. He was excited. And when he got there, and no one really noticed he had been gone, but everyone was happy that he was there for the first time in his young life. He was quite proud to be an ant. The end. I hope you enjoyed. Do a little research on ants. And what Sasquatch is saying is true. There's more biomass of ants on this planet than there are any other animal, including human beings. This is an ant planet and always has been. And as long as we don't totally destroy it, there always will be. And there's a lot to learn from these little guys that live everywhere around our feet. Thank you for listening.